Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me to be part of your afternoon today. I've just been so excited to speak with you. My name is Mrs. Zimmer, and I am a high school math and science teacher in Michigan in the United States. And I've been teaching for 16 years. I have a wonderful husband who I've been married to for 30 years. I have 2 adult children, one who is 29, who just graduated university, and then one who is 27. So, and I have the best part of all, I have 2 puppies. Hello, that's the best part, right? Oreo and Zoe, they're the love of our life. We absolutely love our puppies. So in Michigan, I was just talking about that today is going to be a rather warm day for May 23rd. And today is actually our high school graduation day. So we're so excited for tonight. But today it's going to get almost to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. I did not do the conversion in Celsius. But that's a warm day for us in Michigan for this part of May. So that's good. But I hear you all are so warm right now. So we're on the global map, like we're almost halfway between the equator and the Arctic Circle. I wanted. So this is my smart board, and this is a huge teaching tool that I get to use every day. Because I don't have students in the classroom physically, so I'm a virtual teacher, so I teach them through the computer. So I was just wondering, so this is probably as large as I can bring up India. Where about are you folks?
Yeah, we are exactly close to the Bay of Bengal in southern part. It's called Andhra Pradesh. Yeah.
Okay, down in this area?
Yes, absolutely. Andhra Pradesh.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
How are you, ma'am?
I'm very well. How are you today?
I am fine, ma'am. My name is Sheikh Husnia. I am studying 6th grade. Can I ask a question, ma'am?
Please do.
According to you, what is the toughest thing about teaching math?
What is the toughest thing about teaching math?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so for me, this may not be an answer that you expected, but the toughest thing for me to do when I'm teaching math is to relay to my students that they can do it. It's not the math itself. It's actually believing in themselves that they can do math. I don't know for what reason, but many students that I have, when they're littler, they get it in their head that they can't do math. It's too hard. So I have to help uncondition that and help them to see that they can do math. It might not be a way that they were taught, but they still can do math a different way. And that's okay, because we have different learning styles and we learn different ways. So to show them a different way to do math really gets them excited, and they start to believe that they can do math. That is the toughest part for me, is for them to believe it. Great question.
Yeah.
Hello.
This is Subramanya Srinivas, a 7th grade student from Z.P.H.S School, Ilavaram. Now, I would like to ask a question. Can I ask, ma'am?
Yes, please.
What techniques do you use to engage difficult students?
That is a terrific question, and thank you. It's so nice to meet you. So I actually deal, my school in general, well, let me back that up. My entire teaching career, I have been teaching students who other teachers find difficult. Does that make sense? Okay, so some techniques that I have learned and strategies that I learn with students who maybe don't want to be in school or are maybe difficult sometimes is I try to find out things about them that they like. And I try to incorporate that into the teaching. So if they like skateboards, in physics class, I get to teach about Newton's laws in using skateboards. If they like roller coasters, that's my favorite thing to teach about in physics is roller coasters. I don't like riding them. I get very ill on roller coasters, but I like to teach about them. So if my students like roller coasters, I teach about roller coasters. If my students, oh, can I show you something? Can I show you something? Would that be okay? I'm going to show you. All right. So I write. So being an English teacher, your teacher may appreciate this because I'm not an English teacher at all. I write. Do you all know what a rap is? Like a music rap?
Yes, yes, we have seen some rap songs learning the irregular verbs.
Okay, so these are good lyrics, by the way. So
Yeah, yes, and you can see the video. Yes.
yes, there are some rap videos you should not listen to. Okay, but
Yeah.
Mrs. Zimmer did a good rap. So I write these myself. So please know you can laugh. Okay, let's see if this will work.
My name is Zimmer, and I'm here to say math can be done an easier way. You can call me, text Google Hangouts too, or come to my office hours that I have daily for you. Math can be challenging, but don't despair. Working together, we can get you there. So write down my info quick as a flash. And let's get started to knock out this class. 3 weeks or less. That is your goal. It's up to you. It's in your control. Let's make this class as painless as can be.
Sorry, buffering. Gotta love it.
And I'll be waiting for you to reach out to me. Word. Welcome to Honors Geometry A. I'm super excited to work with you, and I hope to hear from you soon.
So that is just one silly way that I try to engage difficult students. So I get silly myself sometimes, and that pulls them in. Building relationships is a huge part of what I do with my teaching.
Yes, I bet that your students love you so much because of your magical things.
I try. It doesn't always work, but I do try.
Yes. So for me, I think as a person, the teacher who mix up the fun things with the subject is something that makes the students spellbound and they like the teacher, whether it is in mathematics or physical science or English or any other subject. The teacher has to be mix up something with their subject.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that has
If we
to
want
be.
them to engage, right? If we
Yes,
want them
yes.
to engage, yes.
Yes. Sahiti, over to you.
Hello, ma'am. This is Sahiti, a 7th grader, an 8th grader from Z.P.H.S School, Ilavaram. Here, my question is, which method is best for teaching physical science?
So the kind of technologies that I use to teach physical science, as I mentioned, I teach virtually, so I don't have students in the room with me. So a lot of things that I do are through video chats. That is my best tool for connecting with students and showing them things about science or math. And I can do demonstrations. I can also, there is a whole host of things available on the internet where we can do labs virtually and we can do them together and write lab reports. We can do science experiments, or I can do science experiments here and video them. So there's lots of great things to be able to use with the technology for that. Good question.
Absolutely. Roshni, over to you. Roshni?
Yes, sir. Hello, ma'am. I'm Roshni from Z.P.H School, Ilavaram. My question is, what qualities do you think that a physical science teacher should have to teach effectively?
Excellent question. Thank you for your question. So I think personally what has worked best for me and what I think is, I don't want to say it's a good thing for students, is if a teacher isn't afraid to get into the lab activities with their students. So for instance, if we're making a mousetrap race car, I'm on the floor making the mousetrap race cars with them. I'm setting up the room. I'm finding engaging activities that I think will not be boring. Sometimes I think they're not going to be boring, but students tell me they're boring. So that happens sometimes, but I try to make it fun and engaging. I used to do things with remote control cars, and we would race them around the school, and we would time them. We would take them outside and do it also. So I think that the best qualities in my experience when teaching science is to be engaged and have it interactive.
Hello, ma'am. My name is Mamata. I'm an assistant grader. Can I ask one question, ma'am?
Please do.
Could you please show us your math and physical science textbooks?
Something that I do, one of the technologies I use when I'm teaching my students. So let's see here. Is I use an online whiteboard, especially when I'm teaching my math students. So I teach a lot of geometry. Geometry has to deal with shapes and theorems, postulates, definitions, and something in geometry called proofs. And that's where we're trying to prove something that they give us by using just definitions, postulates, theorems. And so something that I use a lot of is this whiteboard. So the students can physically see me doing this as I'm teaching them.
Yes.
So this is one of my best tools, is because I am a very visual learner, and I know that a lot of my students are. So I use a lot of colors, and I draw pictures, and I make sure they can see it, because that's what works best for me. And a lot of times that's what works best for my students. And ironically, that's not what they got where they were before. So that's why it didn't click. So whether I'm teaching about shapes or I'm doing something with science, I always have colors up, I'm drawing pictures, and I'm having it very visual.
Okay, so that means you prepare all these slides in advance, and before you set to teach the particular topic, you prepare these slides. Am I right?
Yeah. So yes, so there are days that I do live lessons. And then every day I have open office hours, video hours, where the students can drop in and they can use it as a study hall, or they can ask questions. We can do projects together. At other times, we have, so what our students, our students go through an online curriculum. Okay, so they go through their classes online. Some of the videos are created by me. A lot of the videos are created by a company, an education company.
Okay.
And yeah, and they go through and they watch the videos and they take their notes, they do their assignments, and then they work with me on projects and things like that. Now, not all students contact me. Some students can do it all on their own. Most struggle because it's challenging, right? Math is challenging. Science can be challenging. And so we have something that looks like this. So they might hit play on this and they'll go through and they'll watch this lesson about how to identify similar figures in geometry. Hopefully they're taking their notes, and then they're going to do their assignment and take a quiz. And then there are certain parts where I noticed my students were struggling more. So I made my own videos, put my own videos in their class, as well as my own projects that I created. So it would help them get a better idea of those concepts in geometry or science.
Okay. So the students that attend to your classes are only from the United States of America or from elsewhere in the world?
Just in Michigan. Good question. Just in Michigan. Like I said, we have graduation tonight, so some of our students are graduating, but we have around 1,700 students, so 1,700 students in our high school.
Okay. Z.P.H.S, over to you.
Yes, sir. Hello, ma'am. This is Z.P.H.S, a 7th grader. Can I ask one question, ma'am?
Please do.
What kind of technology do you use to teach physical science?
So that's a great question. So I use my smartboard a lot, and I use my camera a lot. I don't get to do a lot of science. I teach a lot more math than I teach science. But even when I was in a classroom, I would use a lot of technology. I would use video cameras. I would use, like I said, remote control cars, which is the funnest thing ever, just saying. That is so fun. So I use I use videos, I use interactive labs because there's lots of available tools on the internet where you can do lab experiments right on the internet. And you can drag and drop, and you can hit start, and you can adjust variables to see what's going to happen. So that's pretty cool. I really like doing the demonstrations in person because that's a lot more fun, but
Yes.
sometimes we can't do that.
My name is Sai Surya, a grader. My question is, what topic do you teach in the area of space? And what special efforts do you put into it to make students develop passion towards space?
That is
So-
a great question. Yes, yep, I got it. Yep. So that was next, do I teach in the area of space science? And what special efforts do I put into it to make students develop a passion towards space, right?
Yes.
Well, I think space is the coolest thing ever. So like how excited I am right now is just this big of how excited I get in front of my students. I'm really excited about it. I love to talk about it. I have posters that I have up. I talk about space. We do videos about space sometimes. And just my excitement about space can get students excited about it. Because if I just talk about Jupiter and Mars and Earth and Venus like this, then it's pretty boring. But if I get so excited and talk about all the moons that Venus has and Jupiter has, and just the coolest things, oh, people just get so excited. And the solar flares and the aurora borealis, the northern lights, right? Start talking about all that really cool things. And students really, most students, not all, but most students really get excited, and they're like, wait, what is she talking about? She sounds really excited about it. So that's really the best thing that I do, is I bring excitement to it, and then it usually is just contagious. I think we have 3 different programs in Michigan where we can take students to a planetarium and we can learn about all that and see all the, it's really cool. Yeah.
So you're lucky enough to be close to the such a space centers. I think you can visit.
We are close.
Yeah, in person. Yeah. So
Yes.
fortunately, a few students of my class interacted with a NASA scientist and astronomer recently.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ma'am, this is Meghana. I am an 8th grader. Here, my question is, do you incorporate physical science while teaching math?
So that is a terrific question. And actually, I do incorporate it in the activities that I create. There are some also in the already created curriculum, but I also like with my volume projects that I've created, I have them, one example is that I give them a patio along with a fire pit, and they have to calculate how much cement is needed to be able to create that by the dimensions. And the dimensions are not given in the same dimensions each time I give it to them. So they have to convert it, which is conversions with physical science. And then they have to figure out the volume of the area for both the patio and the fire pit, of course, removing the middle so we can actually burn wood in that fire pit. So that's just one example. I also talk about radio signals and cell phone towers and things like that. So yes, I like to bring physical science into it. I can't always, but I do absolutely love mixing the two. That's my favorite part of teaching, is being able to mix it.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello,
How are you, ma'am?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm fine, ma'am. Thank you. My name is Dikshit. I'm a 7th grader. Would you allow me to ask my question?
Please do.
Do you often have professional developmental programs?
Yes, we do have professional development programs. And actually, this past year, I had the opportunity to teach at one of the Michigan professional developments for the first time. So I was very excited to do that. So that was awesome. I do have lots of professional development every year. Some of it is talking about math. Some of it's talking about science. Some of it is talking about our school altogether. Some of it is learning new tools, such as the smart board and different things to be able to use with that. Absolutely. Great question.
Yes. So students,
Thank you,
do
ma'am.
life like in the Michigan, because we are so curious to know about that.
Yes, so Michigan experiences all 4 seasons. So
Mhm.
we get autumn, we get winter, we get spring, and we get summer. We're in spring right now. Today is going to feel a little bit summery, but right now the grass is all green again. All the trees have their leaves again. They just came out probably in the last 3 weeks. So that's very nice. And there's just a nice freshness in the air. When we have autumn, it's so beautiful in Michigan because all the trees turn such pretty colors. They turn oranges and reds and browns and gold, and it's just so pretty. I absolutely love autumn in Michigan. We also have winter. Now, where I live, so okay, please forgive me, but Michigan looks like a mitten. Okay, everyone, Michigan looks like a mitten. And Mrs. Zimmer lives right here, which is I can look out my window and I can see Canada.
Wow.
I can look out my window literally right here outside of school and I can see Canada. I'm that close. And so, but down here we don't get a lot of snow. Up here they got a ton of snow, and up here just 10 days ago they got 2 feet of snow. So it's still snowing at some parts of Michigan, but most parts the snow is done for right now.
Okay.
And then summer in July is usually the hottest. Summer in July can get around 90 degrees Fahrenheit, which is nowhere near what y'all do, that's for sure. But it sure is warm for me, that's for sure. But way down south, like in Texas, it gets really hot, and I don't want any part of that.
Yeah. Yes. So
That
so
gets hot, but it's very
yes.
pretty here. Yes.
Yes, Mrs. Samin, do you can we get outside look? Is it possible to take your laptop outside your classroom so that we can see the
Yes.
weather?
I love that. Let's do that. I can. Yes, we're going to do this. We're going to go right outside. It's very pretty. We've got lots of great green trees, and our school is in downtown Port Huron, Michigan. And Port Huron, Michigan is right at the start of Lake Huron. So if you ever study Michigan, there are 5 lakes, right? We have Lake Huron, we have Lake Ontario, Lake Michigan, Lake Erie, and Lake Superior, which is way, way, way up north.
Yeah.
I need somebody's keys, or Miss Amanda, will you keep the door open so I can get back in? Thanks.
Thank you so much.
I'm excited to show you some of my home here in Michigan.
Yeah, we are so excited.
I have a class from India online with me. This is Miss Amanda.
Hello. Yeah.
Hello.
Good morning.
All right. So, all right. Let's see.
Wow.
So, the river from that is Canada.
Oh.
That literally is Canada over there. This
Mm-hmm.
is part of the street of where we're at.
Okay.
And it's so pretty and blue skies today. And
Yes.
let's walk up front.
Yeah.
It's so pretty.
It's almost morning 9 o'clock. Am I right?
Yeah. Yes, it is 8:35 in the morning right now. So we just
8:35
started
morning.
school.
Okay.
Yeah. And then this is what it looks like down Main Street.
Wow.
So we are about 1 hour north of Detroit. So this is on Main Street.
Okay, so quite compared to the Indian streets. Indian streets are hustle and bustle always with the vehicles, and the crowded people.
Oh, absolutely. I imagine in India in the morning is when you do stuff.
Yes.
Because it's so hot. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's pretty neat.
Yes. Thank you so much for giving us a virtual tour. In fact,
so that is just wonderful. And I love that I got to share some of it with you guys.
So we would like to ask you one more question. What are the important places that you can share with us about the Michigan, and the favorite destinations are the tourist areas or tourist destinations?
Okay, so well, Detroit is the home of where automobiles are, right? Motor City is what they call it. And Detroit is beautiful and has lots of hustle and bustle and things going on. Up in up in Sault Ste. Marie, which Sault Ste. Marie, again, I'm going to use my hand, so please forgive me, but we have the peninsula up here.
Yes.
Way up here
Mm-hmm.
is something called the Sulaks, and big ships called freighters go up and down the Great Lakes. And that's where they exchange to go from one level to another.
Oh.
So that's pretty interesting. We also have Mackinac Island, which used to be a fort, meaning a fort for like military things back in the 1800s. So that's pretty neat to go to. And that island, there is no motor vehicles. It's all walking, bicycles, and horses. So that's pretty interesting.
Okay. Thank you so much. And we have 2 minutes time is left. May I request you to give a final message to my students?
Please develop a passion for math and science. And if you don't have someone in your life who's excited about it, you get excited about it and you tell somebody about it and they'll get excited about it. So please do that because it's so interesting. There's so many really fascinating things on this earth. Please make the most of it.